Hello guys, welcome to the latest episode of Every Platform, and also Happy New Year. This is Every Platform's, well, the first Every Platform video for 2025. Although by the time you see this it'll probably be like 2026, let's be honest. I'm joking, by the way. Welcome to Broom Fleet station, located in the East Riding of Yorkshire. We are basically on the Yorkshire coast today, in the East Riding, as I just said, and we are heading towards Hull again, but this time we are doing the line between Doncaster and Hull. I just got off 158867, that just brought me in from Doncaster, which is on a service to Hull from Doncaster. This station has a lot of infrequent stations, in other words stations that don't have very many trains that stop. Most just pass through, including the regular stoppers. So yeah, that's something to ponder as the day goes on. We've already encountered our first challenge, which I will explain to you in a moment. But if you do wish to check out any updates on trips and posts, please do check out my Facebook group. Also check out my Instagram at KTVids for story updates. So without further ado, let's kick off the new year and let's get started on today's episode of Every Platform, East Yorkshire 2. Enjoy. So, just before anything else, we've got a train passing, which I believe is a 170, or is it a 158? It's a 170. This should be heading to Scarborough from Sheffield. It is. (170-456). Course X ScotRail. So yes, so let's talk about today's first challenge, shall we? Because what would a trip be without a challenge? So we were meant to be getting a York service which was calling here at Broom Fleet to take us one stop along the line to Gilberdyke, which is the next stop we're going to. That is formed of 155347, which currently is 40 minutes late roughly, on its way to Hull, and it was due here about 8:05, and it's not going to leave Hull until about, I'd say about 8:20, which means we are going to miss a connection at Gilberdyke for another train. So that's presented us with a challenge, but it's not a difficult one because Gilberdyke isn't that bad, and the station we would miss to begin with, Thorne North, is regularly served as well, so hopefully we should be all right. But yeah, that's presented us with a challenge because the train got late from the depot. That was why it's delayed by that long. Anyway, so enough about that. We'll talk facts about Broom Fleet in just a second. Just a couple of trains passing through. We've got a 185 heading to Hull. That'll be from Manchester, Piccadilly or Liverpool, Lime Street's one of the two. And also passing through, we've got 158 heading to Doncaster, which is 158795. Would have been my train. Let's just take that in for a second. Yeah, that would have been my train to take me from Gilberdyke to Thorne North, but due to the really big delay to this 155, it's not now. So yeah. Yeah, so the plan is to visit Thorne North later in the day, so it's not a major issue because it's on the way back anyway, so thankfully it's all good. So yeah, so the plan today is to visit pretty much all the stations in between Doncaster and Hull. We're also including Cottingham in that. If you remember from the original East Yorkshire trip, it wasn't included. It will be in this one, so yes. So, Broom Fleet station, the level crossing's going down, but there's nothing anywhere near here at the moment. But anyway, so this is Broom Fleet. The station serves the village of Broom Fleet in the East Riding of Yorkshire. The station was formerly located on a quadrupled section of line with platforms, the two platforms now here are on the outer lines, or otherwise known as the slow line. So there used to be two fast lines as well. And it was reduced double track in the 80s. Opened as Broom Fleet in 1840, renamed, oh hang on, it was Broom Fleet with, or Broom Fleet with one O and then it had two O's added in 1851, closed in 1861 and then reopened in 1872, and has been open since. A very irregular service here. 4 trains per day, Monday to Saturday towards Hull eastbound, but 7 per day towards Doncaster or York westbound. No trains on a Sunday. So yes, this station is very much what would be known as a shack, because it's got 2 shelters, a closed signal box, I think it's closed anyway, might be open, correct me if I'm wrong, a level crossing, which is, you can cross it to get between the platforms, but also, as you probably noticed, no ticket machines and no departure screens. So this station is very basic, so in terms of its facilities. The village itself is probably what you'd expect in a standard village, but yeah, I've not been. Are you surprised? But yeah, so that is Broom Fleet station. Not much else to really say. It was opened by the York and North Midland Railway as well, so, and for many years it had a really sparse train service on market days only, so yes. Right, just passing Broom Fleet now will be a Hull train service from, you guessed it, Hull to London King's Cross. This is formed of 2 802s, so it'll be a 10 car. Should be 2 anyway, yeah it is, definitely 2. (802, 301 and 303 heading to London King's Cross). Okay, arriving now is our train, the delayed 0803 Northern service from Hull to York. This train is 43 minutes late, would you believe? 155347. Right, now at Gilberdyke, 155347 is heading out to York. That one goes. Welcome to Gilberdyke station, located well in Gilberdyke, but obviously might not even be in Gilberdyke, who knows. I'll get some facts anyway. I actually do have them written up, so I'll have a look at that in a second. So this train is so delayed that the next York train is only 15 minutes away, and that's actually on time, so there you go. So yeah, we shall go through a couple of facts. And the station's 2 platforms and has a much more regular service than that of Broom Fleet, but we'll go from you can go from here on the junction, which takes you over to York, and then also the line to Doncaster also goes off from here as well. And the York route obviously goes via Selby, and the Doncaster one goes via Hatfield and Stainforth, Thorne, Hatfield and Stainforth, and Kirk Sandal. So yes, and shall update you in a second. Right, welcome to Gilberdyke station. The station serves the village of Gilberdyke, again in the East Riding of Yorkshire. Station opened in 1840 by the Hull and Selby Railway, and until 1974 it was known as Staddlethorpe. That was its original name. The station, as I said, is a junction for the lines to Selby and to Goole and Doncaster. In terms of the service, it's fairly regular here. The Hull to York trains always stop here. The Doncaster trains, I think, mostly stop here, so that's quite good. So yeah, it's operated by Northern. It's served hourly in each direction on weekdays by trains between Hull and Doncaster, and by the York to Hull via Selby service, along with a limited service to Leeds and Liverpool, operated by Transpennine Express, which is about 5 o'clock in the morning from Hull. It stops here. On Sundays though, the main service is provided by the Hull to Doncaster trains. Only 2 trains to York stop here on a Sunday, one in the morning and around in second in the afternoon. So yes, not the evening though, it is the afternoon. So it is an unmanned halt, has no ticket facilities. It does actually have ticket facilities because it's over there. It does have ticket machines. But yes, there are apparently 2 railway buildings that still exist here as well, which is the old station master's house and 2 adjacent cottages, which were known as station cottages, probably where staff lived. So yes, and now the sidings south of the station have been replaced by an industrial estate called Gateway Business Park, which we'll probably be walking through on the way when we come back here later to get a bus to Goole. So yes. Right, arriving into Gilberdyke now is the 0905 Northern service from Hull to York. This is the one that is following the really late one, and is another 155, I think. Well, I'd imagine it is actually. Let's have a look. So we had 347 on R1, and this one is 155341. There goes 155341 heading out to York. That's next stop will be Howden. So that one goes. And then our train is in a moment, the 0915 to Doncaster, which we're taking to our next station, which is Hatfield and Stainforth. Update you when it arrives. Okay, looks like we've got another passing Hull train service. Or is it not? It's TPE. And it is the Pride unit, 802213, heading off to, I imagine, Hull. I, for some reason, didn't think that they were actually, the 802s were actually running on the Hull service. I thought that they did Edinburgh and Liverpool to Newcastle, but I didn't think they went to Hull. So that's interesting. But either way, there it goes, heading off to Hull. Okay, arriving in now is the 0915 Northern service to Doncaster, which we're taking to Hatfield and Stainforth. This should be the return of 158867. I'm going to take this to Gilberdyke. I'll take you shortly. Not to Gilberdyke, to Hatfield and Stainforth. We're at Gilberdyke. Right, we've now reached our next station, which is Hatfield and Stainforth. And Chris is now here as well.
Yep.
So that is the second time we've had that unit today, and it's not the last, because we're getting it shortly as well when it comes back. So welcome to the next station, the third station today, Hatfield and Stainforth. Stainforth, I think that's how you say it. That's how the onboard announcement said it, so I'll go with that. So this station is actually in South Yorkshire. This station serves the towns of Hatfield and Stainforth in South Yorkshire. Probably pretty obvious to the fact that this area is served by First South Yorkshire as well, so that might give it away that it's in South Yorkshire.
You think?
Yes, and also given that the station sign says travel South Yorkshire.
Yeah, that will definitely do it.
So yes. So yeah, we are branching into South Yorkshire as well on this trip, just given that there's a few stations in the area that we need. So yeah, we'll update you shortly with some facts, but this station does serve Doncaster and Hull hourly, and probably
Doncaster to Scunthorpe 2 hourly.
Yeah, and the Scunthorpe train stop here. Yeah, I did think that. So yeah, and that's every 2 hours. So yeah, we'll update you shortly. Right, passing through now, we've got a Transpennine Express service to Cleethorpes. (185 140), (185 136), heading off to Cleethorpes. Next stop for that one, I believe, is Scunthorpe.
Yeah, Scunthorpe.
So yeah, there that one goes. So just passing along there is 66034. Which is on a working between Immingham and Drax power station. So there that one goes. Drax power station being somewhat near Nottingley.
Yeah.
So yeah, so it's not actually going that far. So there it goes. So Hatfield and Stainforth station. The original station, known until the 1990s as Stainforth and Hatfield, so they're just the name backwards. Was built in 1866 as a replacement for the South Yorkshire Railway Stainforth when their line was brought to its present alignment, which it looks like now. The station was renamed Hatfield and Stainforth in the 90s, when it was actually considered that Hatfield was the larger of the two and had the larger population, so they put Hatfield first and Stainforth after it, which is interesting. There's also like a plan for a rail bus park and ride here, but I don't know how far in advance that is. But in terms of the service, it's one train or 2 trains per hour to Doncaster, 1 train per hour to Hull via Goole, and 1 train per 2 hours to Scunthorpe, as Chris rightly said. There's also a single daily service between Cleethorpes and Liverpool that calls here, but it only runs once a day in the early morning and towards Cleethorpes in the late evening, and calls here.
I think there may be a Scarborough Sheffield or Hull Sheffield that stops here.
Potentially, but it's mostly just what we said. And also the line northeast of Hatfield and Stainforth towards Thorne was blocked by a landslip at the Hatfield Colliery back in 2013, which disrupted the line as well. The whole section was halted and it opened in July of that same year, so yes. Anyway, that's Hatfield and Stainforth. And our next station we're going to is going to be Brough, so we'll update you when we get there. Right, arriving in now is the 1016 Northern service to Hull from Doncaster, which we're taking to Brough. That is how you say it, I'm sure it is. You don't say Brough, I think it's Brough. So you actually pronounce the G and H. I'm sure that is how you pronounce it. Please correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm sure that is how you do it. When I said it to Chris looked incredibly confused when I pronounced it as Brough.
Because I was.
Yes. But it could well be I pronounced it wrong, so apologies if I have. I'll take you when we get over to Brough. So there goes 158867, that's heading off to Hull. We're now here at Brough, which I forgot also was managed by Transpennine Express. This station is a TPE managed station, which I realised they do call here, and also Hull trains call here as well. On every service they call it Brough. So yes, we might see one, we might not, who knows. We will see one stop here, so that's good. So we'll probably see that shortly. So we'll talk about Brough in a second, but here we are, 2 platforms here at Brough. Yeah, I think that is ours. Right, so there goes 17458 heading off to Scarborough from Sheffield. We're going to cross over to our platform and grab our train. Facts about Brough, what we'll do is when we get to Saltmarshe, we'll do facts about that one and Brough at the same time, because we haven't really got a lot of time because we were late coming in. So yeah, we'll update you shortly when we get on our train. Right, departing out now is going to be 802-302. This is the 10:45 Hull train service to London King's Cross. Next stop will be Goole. This train, I thought, blimey, made me jump. Can't see it very well as we go out that way, but there it goes, heading off to London King's Cross. Got a 185 arriving at the same time, but our train is just behind it. This one is heading to Hull. It's from Leeds, 185116. I think 131 to the rear. Yeah, it is. 131 is the rear. Thank you, Real Time Trains. I was looking that up earlier. Still baffle me because I didn't expect an 802 to be heading off to Hull with TPE, but I realised they do it now. Yeah, it all changed since I was last up there. Anyway, off we go to Saltmarshe and we'll update you when we get there. Alright, arriving now is the slightly delayed 1107 Northern service to Doncaster. I'm taking us to Saltmarshe. We've got 158795, different 158 this time. I'll take you when we get to Saltmarshe. Okay, just leaving Saltmarshe now is 158795. Look at the gap. So, welcome to Saltmarshe, another station that doesn't have that many trains, but 17, roughly about 17 trains a day, so it's actually a bit more than Broom Fleet. But yeah, this station, as you can tell, the waiting shop over there looks like a house, or like a little hut, doesn't it?
Yeah, just a brick shack.
But the one over here isn't like that. So that's on platform 1, which we're crossing over to in a minute. There will be some buses featured in this video because we will be catching one shortly.
Not from here.
Not from here, obviously, but
because there's literally nothing around
yeah,
here.
Saltmarsh doesn't have anything. So the station, even much so, this station isn't even in Saltmarsh. It's in Laxton, and Saltmarsh is actually about a mile away. So yeah. Anyway, go through some more facts about this one and Brough shortly. So, as well as being located in Laxton, this station is 1 mile away from Saltmarsh on the north bank of the river. Is it the River Ouse? Is that how you say it? Or Ouse? River Ouse or River Ouse? It's something like that. It's sort of near there anyway. On top of that, the station is very basic, as you can tell. It's a bit like Broom Fleet. It hasn't got any departure boards. It's only got timetables, posters, which is still good as long as they're kept up to date, I guess. It's got step-free access and, of course, a barrow crossing, which is only accessed. Well, is the access point between both of the platforms. And there's a house, like someone lives in that house, like literally right next to the barrow crossing. So. And yeah, the surrounding area, you just see a load of wind turbines over it, but it's quite desolate. There's not much around here at all, and it's just one of those stations that doesn't have a bus service. It's, you know, we get them, but stations that just don't have a bus service nearby, you know, and are just in almost the middle of nowhere, because even though it's in Laxton, it doesn't really feel like it's even in there, because it just doesn't seem like there's much around there. But some stations are like that, and they're the most fascinating ones. Yeah. So Saltmarsh can be added to that list. In terms of the trains, I said, yeah, so it's the Doncaster Hull trains that call here. There is a Scarborough Sheffield that calls here, and a Sheffield Scarborough, but it's only early in the morning for both. And there's no Sunday service here, so would you be surprised about that? And it was opened in 1869 as part of the North Eastern Railway's Hull and Doncaster branch. So there you go, that's Saltmarsh. Update you shortly. We'll talk about Brough in a minute. So, as for Brough, that station serves the town of Brough. It's also managed by Transpennine Express instead of Northern, like Saltmarsh and the rest of them we've been to today, other than Brough, have been. I used to actually think it was pronounced Brough, but actually, like Brough, it's not. It's Brough. That's our train. It was opened in 1840 and at one time had 4 tracks passing through. Doesn't anymore. There was 2 outer tracks, and the 2 disused platform faces were still visible at the station. So if you do go there and you see that, then I didn't spot it because we weren't actually there for too long. But it got removed in the 70s, so but apparently still visible. Does have a ticket office and waiting room, and it's quite well facilitated because it's also a call for Hull trains, so they do stop there as well. It connects Yorkshire really well, Brough does, so you can say that. So yeah, that's basically it. LNER also go along this line, I forgot to say, but it's only a couple trains a day that go to Hull, so yes. As we finished talking about Brough, arriving in now is our train. This one is a Doncaster to Hull, and I am led to think it's 158794. It is the 11:37 service from Doncaster to Hull. I would think it's 794 because 795, 867 and 794 are on the route. Yes, it is 794. I was right. Alright mate, that sounds too healthy. Anyway, off we go to Gilberdyke again. Right, we're now here back at Gilberdyke. As 158794 heads out to Hull from Doncaster, also passing through is a 170 heading to Sheffield. Which is 170,456 heading off to Sheffield. So we're going to head off and catch a bus to Goole, so we'll update you shortly. We've already done here obviously, so update you shortly. Right, welcome to Goole, the Goole interchange. That head out is our B9. So, we're at Goole station, it's just over there. We're going to pop in and go from there. So we had that East Yorkshire route, that was the 55. It was a nice route as well. Yeah. And we had it for a good stretch. We had it for about nearly 40 minutes, just shy of 40 minutes. Yeah. So, not too bad. Anyway, update you shortly. Right, welcome to Goole station, located in the port town of Goole. So this is 2 platforms here. We'll update you shortly. Right, so this is Goole station, serving the town of Goole. This station is on the Hull and Doncaster branch, on the East Riding of Yorkshire. This station is again managed by Northern. They run north to the Hull and Selby line at Gilberdyke, which was formerly called Staddlethorpe, as we established earlier. South to the South Humberside main line near Thorne, and there is also a westward line, I thought it is, to Nottingley, which is mostly used by freight with a very infrequent passenger service. The station opened in 1869, placing a terminus station in the Goole docks. So yes. In terms of facilities, it's got a ticket office, as you can tell in the building over there, but I don't think it's open at the moment. I think it's only part-time. And they've got canopies, waiting shelters, and departure screens, all the usual stuff you'd expect. Goole's quite a major station on the route because the Sheffield Scarborough's call here as well. So yeah, it's Monday to Saturday. Daytimes there's two trains an hour eastbound to Hull. One continues to Scarborough and one terminates. And then towards Doncaster and Sheffield southbound, you've got trains as well. The line is the Pontefract line. It's a parliamentary train service of just 2 trains per day to Nottingley and Leeds. One in the morning at 7:42 and one in the evening at 19:58. And only one train, the 17:58 from Leeds, runs in the opposite direction. So there you go. There's no Sunday service. And again, due to the landslip I mentioned about Hatfield and Stainforth, this station was destructed and had rail replacement here, so this one was affected by it. But yes, that parliamentary train was also more frequent in the 80s, but it was reduced in 1991 due to a DMU shortage, would you believe? And again in 2004 when the midday service was curtailed at Nottingley. It continues to run mainly so that the TOC meets its statutory franchise requirements and avoids the need for the line to be put through the formal closure process, which is very expensive. So yes, probably a smart idea, but yeah, it's very infrequent. There's a couple of stations on the line as well, but I'll have to explore them at some stage. Anyway, Goole station done. Our next station is Ferriby. Not Therapy, Ferriby. Anyway, update you shortly. Right, departing now is 158794, heading to Doncaster. As you can tell, there is a signal box out here at Goole. I think that one might actually be operational, but I don't know. You can correct me on it if you want. So that one goes heading to Doncaster. Okay, arriving in now is going to be the 1331 Northern service to Hull from Doncaster. This is our train to take us over to Ferriby. And it is, for the 4th time today, 158867. we're going to take this over to Ferriby and we'll go from there. That's Goole done. Do you know what the station code is? Goo. Right, so now I made it to Ferriby. And we'll update you shortly. 158867 just heading out there to Hull. So this station is Ferriby, and we'll talk about it in just a second. Right, passing through now is what I think is a 155. Just heading to York.
Yeah, that's a late running from Bridlington to York.
So that's a Bridlington to York service. So, just to give you an idea, so as you saw, the train just went through the centre track. Here at Ferriby, it's a little bit different compared to all the other stations we've been to. Platform 2 is on a loop and that loop continues all the way to Brough, which explains our confusion that we had, where basically we were waiting at Brough for our train and we saw it had arrived at Ferriby and then left, and that the whole train was approaching Ferriby. So we thought, oh yeah, it's not going to make it, and we'll have to go over and not see the whole trains and wait till we get to Saltmarshe. But no, it overtook it here. That's what happened. Also we've got 170 heading to Scarborough. Which is 456. Saw that one earlier. So yeah, so this station is on a loop, but they brought the platform 1 into the main line. They extended it out, but they left platform 2 as it was. So it's a good idea, because I mean it allows for whole trains, if they're late, to pass a stopping train.
Or another late run train like we do like that Bridlington.
Yes, exactly. Like the Bridlington one just there. Because that was late too. Anyway, so Ferriby station, we'll talk where it, its location and everything in a moment, but that should give you an idea about why it's different to the others. Right, passing through there was 185110 and 185119. I think it's the other way around. Heading off to Leeds from Hull. So I think they're only going to Leeds today because there's engineering works going out to Huddersfield, so that's why they're only going to Leeds. Normally they would go further. Normally they would be no, I think they're Liverpool's now, the Hulls.
Yeah, I think they are.
Liverpool Lime Street, yeah. So anyway, let's talk about Ferriby. Here we are. Station serves the village of North Ferriby in the East Riding of Yorkshire. Obviously you talked about the line itself, but that line actually was kept as it was because it served the cement works, which has now been demolished. The cement works have been called Melton Holt, which has now been demolished, but they decided to keep the line as it was because it's useful. And I agree, it is. I'm sure Chris agrees as well, it's useful.
As was demonstrated earlier.
Yeah, as was demonstrated, and the 185s used it as well, so it is good. And yeah, this station, quite surprisingly, doesn't have any departure boards, no departure screens whatsoever, which seems to be a common theme on this line, but it does have a ticket machine, which Broom Fleet didn't even have.
I mean, it's near Hull, so it's probably stolen.
Sorry, Hull residents. We know the sun shines always there, don't we? Anyway, what was I going to say? Yeah, so this station's service is basically hourly, and it's provided by the Hull to Doncaster trains, as you've already worked out, whilst a York train like once a day calls here, and a couple of them extend over to Bridlington as well from Doncaster. So yes, and from mid-morning on a Sunday you get an hourly service here as well. So yes, that is Ferriby. Our next station is going to be Hessle, which is the last station on the line before you get to Hull, but we'll talk about that when we get there. Alright, passing through now is going to be a Hull train service heading to, guess what? Hull. It's 8:02, 3:03 and 3:01 heading off to Hull, and its next stop is Hull, and its final stop Hull. Running about 10 minutes late, that one. So yeah, that out goes, and we're gonna head off just for a stroll down to the Humber, which is just nearby, and then we're going to come back and catch the 14:57 the next hour, because there's no reasonable bus service here that can take us to Hessle. So we opted to get the bus from Hessle instead. So yeah, I'm going to catch that train to Hessle, so I'll update you shortly. Okay, arriving in now is going to be the 14:57 Northern service to Hull. This is going to be 158794. We're going to take this over to Hessle. We're waiting here an hour because it's the only hour wait we have here on this trip, just due to there being no feasible options to go forward other than wait for the train. So we're going to take this one stop over to Hessle. Right, welcome to Hessle. That's actually how you say it, apparently. Hessle, not Hessle. Too much emphasis on the S. Which one though? Both or just one S? Anyway, it's Hessle. Start of the Yorkshire Rolls and the Main National Trail, I think. Anyway, this station is the last one before we get to Hull. We'll talk about it in just a minute. 158794, heading to its last stop of Hull. Right, welcome to Hessle station, serving the town of Hessle in the East Riding of Yorkshire. Again, managed by Northern, this station, and two platforms with a very interesting looking footbridge. Chris, what do you think of that? That footbridge above you, bit rusty, isn't it?
Yeah.
Been around for a long time, I reckon. Opened in 1840, this station. It's also the nearest station on the north bank of the Humber to the Humber Bridge. The Humber Bridge is really close to here. And if you actually look on, when looking west at the platforms, that big thing there is not beyond the rusty footbridge, is the Humber Bridge. So yes, it was opened in 1840 by the Hull and Selby Railway, and there's only 4 miles out of Hull, so it's not very far. And again, we have a 170. Heading to Scarborough as well, 174.75. Chris is on train lookout, and yeah, so the station's also unstaffed, and the main building is still present but not in railway use, though the old LNER shelter on the eastbound side is still available, which is that little shelter there, I believe. That's the canopy. So yeah, it's got classic shelters here. It looks quite, yeah, it's very metro, this station, I would describe it. But yeah, in terms of here, it's got the exact same service level as Ferriby, but this station only recently got an hourly service on a Sunday. Before that, it was only 1 train a day here at Hessle, so it's improved, so that's good. Onwards now to our next station, which is going to be Cottingham. No, not Nottingham.
That's too familiar.
We're going to Cottingham. We'll update you soon. So we're just back in Hull interchange now. Well, I'll say back, this is our first time here today. So we're actually, here we are at Hull interchange. I'll reword that. Massive interchange. Obviously I've talked about this in my original East Yorkshire video, so we don't need to go over it again. We are going to be making our way over to the platforms, and we're going to be getting on at the 16:21 northern service to Scarborough, which we're going to take to Cottingham. And yeah, so we just got off a B9. We didn't film it leave because it terminated her, and it's absolutely packed, but you've already seen one already. It's the same bus, not the same fleet number, but the same type of bus, a B9 Gemini. So we're going to get something different when we go to Cottingham though. We'll update you shortly. Right, here we have 158855, which we're taking to Cottingham. I'm really confused because the Scarborough is showing us 3 coaches, but the 158 is a 2 car. What's happened? Anyway, we're going to get on it and update you shortly. Off to Cottingham with this one. Okay, we've now made it to Cottingham, and the part to the part is 158855 heading off to Scarborough. So, welcome to Cottingham. Now, yeah, we're taking a slight diversion off of the plan today because we are on the Yorkshire coastline. The reason is because on the original East Yorkshire video, due to quite a lot of disruption that we had, we didn't get Cottingham done. So, here we are now. And with Chris. And Chris wasn't here for the original East Yorkshire video.
But I'm here now.
He's here for Cottingham at least, so there you go.
Figures I'd be here for the station which sounds most similar to mine.
Yes, indeed. Yes. And there's also another one. But I'll let you guys answer that in the comments. What's the other one that rhymes with Nottingham that's in the country? You've got Cottingham and you've got Nottingham, but there's another one. What is it and where is it? Answers in the comments. That's just a little extra question. So we'll talk about Cottingham in just a second, but yeah, here we are. Or at least we'll give you a couple of facts. Right, back to the part now is 155347. Hello again, late unit. So that up and goes, heading off to York from Bridlington. So a quick word about Cottingham. The station serves the northern suburbs of Hull, generally speaking anyway. It serves also the village of Cottingham, which is obviously East Riding of Yorkshire. It does generate a lot of commuter traffic. There is a big brick shelter there, and then which is that one there. And the house, well, this behind me building is privately owned now. Basically a house, so another station house. Every train calls here on the Hull to Bridlington and York to Bridlington and the Sheffield Scarboroughs, they all call here, but also 2 trains a day by Hull Trains also stop here. So, and it used to be 1 train a day, but since 2019 it's now 2 a day, and they're Beverley services they all call here because this is after Hull. So yeah, that is Cottingham station. It's quite interesting. 1988, the station master's house, which is what I showed behind me, they were both grade 2 listed as well. So yeah, and the footbridge is of a standard LNER cast iron pre-assembled design, which was restored by Network Rail in 2021. So as you can tell, it looks really nice because Network Rail actually restored it because it was coming away basically. So back to Hull now, and then we're off to our next station, which is going to be Thorne North. But before we do, we're going to get a bus back to Hull, and then we're just going to do our own thing for a little bit. We'll update you when we're about to get, well, when we get back to Hull. Right, so we opted out of getting the bus because we've come up with a much better idea, which you're going to see when we actually get there. But arriving in now is the 1734 Northern service to York from Bridlington, which we're taking back to Hull. That's Cottingham done, which means Yorkshire coast is now complete after ages. I'll take you shortly. 2 stops down that way. So the bus you just seen leave there is a B7 RLE Eclipse Urban, a 56 plate, which was a really nice surprise because actually it was meant to be an E200 and it got swapped. So that is brilliant. You didn't hear it very well, unfortunately, because the film just as we got off, but we're crossing over now to get a B7TL Gemini. So we've gone from something really nice to something really, really nice.
Or potentially
Equally as good. I think they'll be equally as good.
Or
but anyway,
worse.
Or worse, because it could hoover. But anyway, we'll cross that bridge when we come to it. That was an Eclipse Urban. That was 56 plate. I didn't even know East Yorkshire had any. And there you go. So we'll update you when we get on our second bus when we get off it in Hull. Right, we're now back in Hull and about to depart. It's the 1835 to London King's Cross. It's 800 302 heading out. We're now back in Hull. The two buses, obviously we did get it's the Eclipse Urban that you saw in the short clip, and then we also got a B7 Gemini back. But obviously I didn't get that because we didn't get it filming going out because it went into the interchange, so it terminated here, so it was a bit tricky to get. Anyway, we're now on 158794 in a moment, and we're going to, this is the 1852 Doncaster, which is taking to Thorne North, so we'll update you shortly. Right, welcome back to South Yorkshire. We're in Thorne North now. It's 158794 heads out, heading to Doncaster. So this station is Thorne North, and this station is one of two stations in the town of Thorne. The other one is Thorne South, which is on the line to Scunthorpe, which will be done on a different day. But Thorne North is actually about just over a mile between them, so there is a fair distance between both stations. So it's not brilliant. Let's say 1.3 miles away on the opposite side of the town. In February 2014, Thorne North was also accredited with secure station status, which basically means it's known as a safe environment for both passengers and staff, or it's regarded as an official one, which is pretty good. Its history: station opened in 1869 as part of the North Eastern Railway's Hull and Doncaster branch, and was originally just called Thorne, as was the other station in Thorne, which was part of the Great Central Railway. So they both were called Thorne, but both had different railways, but now they've got North and South next to them. And again, this station was disrupted because of that landslip I mentioned at Hatfield and Stainforth. This station had the same situation. So yes, there is one ticket machine here and basic amenities as you'd expect. Ticket office usually operates most of the day, but just yes, and it's step free, but you have to use a barrow crossing to get between them. But there's a footbridge as well if you want to, but if it's step free you have to go down the barrow crossing at the other end of the station. So yeah, and the trains that are here, stopping services between Doncaster and Hull and beyond call at Thorne North. Monday to Saturdays is usually a half-hour service with some additional peak period calls, and Sheffield services stop only at peak times here. So yes, and on Sundays it's an hourly service each way between Hull and Doncaster. So yes, right, off we go. Our next station is Kirk Sandal. Right, just changing buses now. There goes the 387A, that's operated by First South Yorkshire, B9 Gemini 2. We're in Wheatley at the moment. We're just part of the way through our journey to Kirk Sandal, which is the last station we need. We're going to get another bus, it's another Gemini 2, and head to Kirk Sandal, so I'll update you shortly. There's the other bus going there, the 384A, heading off to Thorne as well. They're the late night first routes, because you've got 387A and 384A, both go to Thorne, but both take slightly different routes. So now we are going to head to our last station of the day, which is Kirk Sandal. Update shortly. Right, welcome to Kirk Sandal station, located in the suburb of Kirk Sandal. This station is in Doncaster, would you believe? This is suburban Doncaster,
I'd believe
which I didn't actually know, so there you go. So it's the suburb of Kirk Sandal, which is in Doncaster in South Yorkshire, obviously. 4 miles north of Doncaster. This is known as the South Humberside main line, which takes you over to Scunthorpe and Cleethorpes, but also is the line towards Hull. Station opened in 1991 by British Rail and is not on the site of the original station, which is about 0.5 miles eastwards from this station. Not too much to say. I mean, the station is an hourly service east to Hull and a 2-hourly service to Scunthorpe. Westbound service comprises either 1 or 2 trains per hour to Doncaster. So depending on if the Scunthorpe train is coming, there'll be 2 trains an hour, but then every other hour it'll just be 1 train an hour. So it's quite sporadic in that sense. This station also doesn't have any more direct trains to Sheffield. This train used to, this station, sorry, used to when the Hull to Sheffield trains were running, but not anymore, because those Hull to Sheffield trains now terminate at Doncaster. TPE also served the station with a single eastbound Monday to Saturday service to Cleethorpes, but there's no train coming back. It's just one Cleethorpes train, and it's that's it. That's Monday to Saturday. So yes. And also Scunthorpe services, I didn't realise they used to run every hour, but they got changed during the COVID pandemic, and then they became every 2 hours. So the station, as you can tell, also consists of a concrete island platform located between the inner fast lines 1 and 2, you can see on the edges. On the quad section of the route between Marshgate Junction, Doncaster and Thorne Junction, completely unstaffed. There is a ticket office near to the ticket machine, sorry, near to the car park, and yeah, that's basically it. It's all step 3 though, so this is not Mill Hill part 2, because Mill Hill, if you remember in that East Lancashire video, had steps all the way down to a big island platform, but this one's got a ramp, so it's all right. So there you have it. Update shortly. Right, arriving in is going to be the 2112 Northern service to Goole from Doncaster to do one of the most interesting manoeuvres I've ever heard of in recent time anyway. 158795. Not our train, but we'll see it go out in a sec. Right, there goes the 2112 service to Goole. So funny thing about this station as well, the departure boards have not updated. It is 2112 and platform 2's departure board is showing the 2011 to Hull. So yeah, not quite right, but do you know what? It is what it is. Anyway, that's off to Goole to do one of the most pointless manoeuvres I've ever heard. Basically, the Northern service is on the Hull line towards Hull, obviously, but Goole is on that route. It will terminate at Goole, doing it, shunt in, shunt back out. Sorry, let me do that again. Shunt out, shunt back into the station to then go on a service from Goole to Hull. Would it not make more sense
to just
run it from Doncaster to Hull like all the other ones do? Because a few of them have done Goole, but I wonder if there's a reason for that. And I wonder if anyone would care enough to explain it. I could be being completely naive and not even realising like what it is, but yeah, it doesn't really make much sense to me. Anyway, that's just me. goes 800 104 passing through there. That is on an ECS move from Hull to Doncaster after it just terminated in from London King's Cross on the once a day Hull service. There is two obviously, but there is a Hull to King's Cross and a King's Cross to Hull. That would have been the King's Cross to Hull. It's gone back on an empty stop move now back to Doncaster. So as that one goes through, I'm going to finish the video here from East Yorkshire. Thank you for watching. If you have liked what you've seen, do like and subscribe, and do leave in the comments because we'll get back to them as and when I can. And any recommendations are welcome, so please leave those in the comments. Chris, thank you for today.
Cheers
It
for
has
having
been
me.
an absolutely fantastic day. Great way to start off 2025, although you probably see this in 2026, let's be honest.
Given your current rate, it'll be 2027.
Yeah, that's being generous. Anyway, I'm joking. I promise I will keep on top of things. Anyway, fantastic trip. It's been really nice. It's been very, very cold, but that's part of the fun. You know, you have to deal with these conditions
For the record,
sometimes.
I warned him like 2 months ago.
He did warn me, but I didn't listen, so here we are. I'm well aware about how cold it gets in January, and there's been a yellow warning for snow, but it hasn't hit here, so we're quite fortunate for that. Well, not fortunate, unfortunate, because it means we don't get to have snowball fights. How old do I sound when I say that? Anyway, I'm only kidding.
I think it's a bit unfair when I just become a snow boulder.
All right, Chris, yeah. All right, if you want to go down that route, that's up to you, mate. Anyway, so... yeah, so the next episode of Every Platform, would you believe, is the very first of the Heart of Wales line. We're starting to do that one now. And on that Heart of Wales line trip, a very, I would say, special announcement will be made on that trip. You'll see what that is on the day. Thanks for watching. I'll see you then. Bye for now. So, just a quick one. We're back in Doncaster now. Obviously, the train 15211 there. We just brought that in from, well, we just arrived in on that from Kirk Sandal. Just proof that we did catch a train from Kirk Sandal. We're now back in Doncaster. So yes, thank you for watching, and we'll see you soon. Bye for now. Hello guys, welcome to the latest episode of Every Platform, and currently it is just gone 5:30 in the morning and we are at our first station of the day. Here is a video that I'm sure a lot of you have been waiting for a long time. Welcome to the first of the Heart of Wales line videos, where today we will be covering I would say near enough every station in between here, sorry, let me try that again, in between Llanelli and Llandovery. There is one station in between those that we're not doing today, just due to the fact that the time doesn't allow for it, but doesn't mean we won't come back to it. It will be on the next one, but you'll find out what that is later on. But the first station we are at today is Ammanford, which is where 153325, which you just saw depart in the pitch black. Near enough pitch black, you saw it pretty much. Departed heading to Shrewsbury from Swansea. That was the 0451 departure from Swansea. Gets to Shrewsbury at just gone 9 AM. That's a long journey. Lovely guard on board as well. Really seems to be a potentially friendly bunch on this line, which is good, but we shall see. But that was a good start. We'll talk about a couple of facts about this station in a moment, but interestingly, this station is only a request stop on the way back to Swansea. On the way to Shrewsbury, it is a mandatory call due to having to manually operate the level crossing, which is flashing red in the camera there, in the shot you can see. You can't see too much here, but I will explain our plan in a minute, what we're doing. But if you do check out any updates on trips and posts, check out my Facebook group, also check out my Instagram at KTVvids. Let's begin today's episode of Every Platform here at Ammanford, and what should be a very cold day, but also hopefully a very enjoyable one. Speak to you shortly. Okay, let's give you some facts about this one platform station. Station is located in Carmarthenshire, so we are in West Wales. Told you hadn't finished West Wales because a lot of these stations are in West Wales as well. The station opened in 1841 as a temporary terminus of the Llanelli, not Llanelli, Llanelli railway line, which went to Llandilo, making it one of the Wales's, or even the UK's, earliest railway stations. This one. So yes, original name was Dufferin. And then, did I just hear a meow? Or am I hearing things? Probably did. And no, I did hear a meow. There's a cat around there. And then Tyrrydale. The station did undergo a number of name changes before being renamed Ammanford and Tyrrydale in 1960, following the closure in 1958 of Ammanford on the Amman Valley Branch Railway. But it changed to Ammanford in 1973 and hasn't changed since. So yes, we're located at street level according to this. And at some point the platform that we're on now was actually located north, in the north direction. So but now we're located in the south direction, but at some point the platform did exist somewhere else before it was demolished. So yes, basic station in terms of facilities. There is a waiting shelter there. It's quite small. There's a bit of local artwork in it. I'd show you, but it's too dark. And yeah, so it's just got the basic information. The next departure here is 0902, would you believe? 0546 it is now. 0902 is the next departure, which is Swansea bound, which I will be getting, but I'm not waiting here for it. The plan is now to go to Llandilo via bus. Yes, buses run around here, courtesy of First, who operate out of Swansea with street lights. But hey ho, it is what it is. Update you shortly. So, in a bit of turn of events. Oh god, you can hardly see it actually. There you go. There is a cat. I mean, there was. You can hear it now. There you go. It's going for a little walk. You can barely see it because it's a tortoiseshell cat, so you can hardly see it in the dark. But it paid me a visit for a little while, and just heard its little meow. It was very cute. But yeah, for some random reason, just gone 6. There's a cat here. But yeah. So that's Ammanford station done now, and home to a station cat. There you go. Well, it's not officially, but you know what I mean. Might as well say it is. And our next station is Llandilo. So the next clip you see will be probably me getting off the bus to get to Llandilo. So that's Ammanford done, the first station on the Heart of Wales line today.